And if we were talking about, you know, the 1830s, sure, but current today, Congress people. What's that? Members of Congress as well, that is also acceptable. You know, this is something that came up several times with the last, or units 4, 5, and 6, but I'm a stickler when it comes to evidence. So when I think you mentioned a Pew report, like when was it published? Like what was it? So don't just say like, there was a Pew report, because then it sounds super vague. So, you know, when you're given a citation, make sure it's an exact citation. You know, this, and maybe this won't come up, but this is something that's really been bothering me for a while, like the last question that I asked about the open primaries. Like, if everybody can vote in it, then what's the point of a primary? Like, why not just have a general election with all those candidates? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, and maybe it does, and I just haven't thought of what, you know, but when we talk about open versus closed primaries, make sure you have a firm understanding of what the impact of an open versus a closed primary. I like the thing about, the one thing that California agreed on was they didn't like open primaries. There were a couple of times when I was like, why are we talking about this? So when we talked about, should there be a law about equal representation across parties, and we went into gerrymandering. And I know what you were doing, because I recommend that units do this if they can, and that is, you know, essentially jujitsu, right? It's like the thing I want to talk about is gerrymandering, so you asked me something silly, kind of related to that, so we're going to slide over here. And if you can do it, then do it. But if you're going to be obvious about it and be like, because gerrymandering, you know, so just work on making sure, and I thought that you were good in catching it. One of you said, to bring it back to the question, and I appreciated that because, you know, obviously responsiveness is a major category here. The other thing, when we were talking about earmarks, I didn't quite understand the connection to polarization. I don't think you're wrong, but make it clearer, like the direct impact, not just what they are, but why. Did I say evidence already? Evidence, evidence, evidence. I need more evidence. I thought the umbrella was solid. Like, I even wrote down solid, so that I would remember. I really liked the way that you approached it, and the structure of the umbrella. Did you intend for me to ask about equal representation on parties? No, okay. Because I felt like you seeded that in your second sub when you talked about that the parties are creating a stronger connection across the branches. And to me, like, the next natural thought is, well, if this is a quasi branch of government, then the Republican branch and the Democratic branch, should we have equal representation? But maybe not. Maybe you seeded it and didn't even mean to.